What about Brad Marchand? Boston loses again. They lose again. That team is spiraling. And if you're a team that's looking for a retool or rebuild, we thought it was going to happen eventually. I did some digging. Obviously, Marchand's in a contract year. He has an 8-team no trade list. I have no clue if the Maple Leafs are on that list. But you look at a gamer like that, a guy who's just like everything you want and need in a player in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm at least making a call. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Oh, I mean, I put a lot of stock in Brad Marchand. I know he's not kind of what he was this year, 36 years old. You can't expect too much, but you go look at his he's got 19 tucks this year, 29 last year, 21, 32, 29, 20, 80, 36, 34, 39, 37. Like he's a clutch performer too. Like that's the biggest thing to me. These guys that people talk about, and it's like, oh, you look at their stat line and they walk around all pretty, but it's like, have you ever like gone to war? Have you ever like drug your team behind you or put them on your shoulders and got them through a playoff series? Like that's what Brad Marchand has done in spades, man. He's been the difference maker for years and years and years. And if that's something Toronto's been lacking with all our guys, with all their points and trophies that don't do, that don't get it done in the playoffs. I mean, that's a name that I absolutely would be thinking could make a difference in a playoff series, which, let's be honest, that's all the Toronto Maple Leafs are looking for, is someone to make a bloody difference in the playoffs.
And I mean, who knows if the Leafs and Bruins could make a deal right now? Obviously, it happened back in the day with like Phil Kessel, but that we're long removed. But I think logically on Boston, there's a couple guys like Marchand. Obviously, if he's available, I'm placing that call. I just think he would be a good fit on any team, any cup contender. Trent Frederick's a name I brought up. Charlie Coyle. Like there are some guys on that roster that would intrigue me. Again, I never know or never will know if Boston would even be open to that kind of ideology. I think they still, the best to I know, they want to make the playoffs. But I did start to salivate a bit thinking about the prospects of Brad Marchand. I've seen the segments out there. The idea is like anything is possible. I think if there's one thing I've learned the last couple of weeks, anything is possible. And I just envisioning Brad Marchand and the Toronto Maple Leafs with this current nucleus, I think would be pretty damn exciting and fun.
It would look weird, wouldn't it? Him
Yeah.
in the blue and white, but you just wonder how it would go. I mean, there'd be
Yeah.
expectations for him to do what he's done in his prime in the playoffs, which is probably not fair. But I do think he's got enough left to give. Obviously didn't go well for him last year, getting injured, and kind of took some of his own medicine really in the playoffs. But I imagine that grit like that and personality like that doesn't just go away because you're a couple years older. I just think the mentality of it, it's, you look at Mitch and you look at Austin, and neither of them really have that. They have similar personalities, I guess, and leadership qualities. They're not bad, but they're not what Brad Marchand has been in his prime. That grit, that leadership, that go through a wall, that absolutely charge the net like a bowling ball and let the chips fall where they may. You want to have something about it. You don't. You take their goalie out. You score it. Like, who knows? But he's just willing to do it all. And I think he's been extremely effective. And lots of people hate him. Why? Because he is so goddamn effective at it. Yeah, he's licked people and done some dumb stuff before. But, I mean, it's all under the guise of he is trying to control the narrative on the ice, and he'll do anything to accomplish that. And I think he's still got a lot to give. So I think that would be, he's not a centerman. I think being at the center position would just be the cherry on top, but it's something fun to throw around and envision if that could possibly happen.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.